Hello and welcome to another video of mine. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Elden Ring on the PlayStation 5. Now, the thumbnail of this particular video of mine was not clickbait. If you're thinking that I just wanted to lure you in to check out why I hate this game. Well, don't get me wrong, I do hate this game. And I hate this game with respect and love. Now, to start off with, I do want to mention that lovers of the Demon Soul series, Sekiro, games from FromSoftware, and even Elden Ring, I have a lot of respect for you guys for being very patient, for putting in the hours, and for giving us the experience through YouTube videos as to what you can actually achieve on a game like this. Because man, this game is difficult. It demands a lot of patience out of you, and that is where it loses you. I mean, it at least lost me. Now, of course, my opinion, they're subjective, and it all depends on the kind of games that you're used to playing, the kind of games that you like. So going into this video, all my thoughts, my opinion in this video, they're subjective. I just wanted to mention that. Now, I'm not a fan of the Soul series. I'm not a fan of Sekiro. And the obvious is Elden Ring. I am not a fan of this game. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not a fan of this game. Now, first of all, you start this game, there are various classes that you can actually select from. Now, I went along with Hero. There are many classes that you can choose from, like Confessor. There are other ones as well. So you can take your pick. Now, you do have a customization option where you can customize your character. You can change their body type. You can change their personality, basically, whether they are a loner, whether they are a warrior, and stuff like that. I mean, the character customization screen is not the best, and it does not really give you a lot of options. But hey, you'll appreciate the fact that it's there. And there are a lot of things that you can actually do. Now, to begin with, spent close to, I would say, over 20 minutes in just the character customization screen. Now, I went into this game blind. Now, I have not played any of these Soul series games. I have not played Sekiro. I have read a lot about them. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos. And therefore, I was actually excited to get my hands on this game. And that's exactly what I did. Now, after spending over 20 minutes in the character customization screen, started the game, started with a beautiful cutscene. And cutscene meaning, it's a very story type, cutscene where you have these images rather than cinematics. Nothing wrong with that, as long as, you are telling a good story. And I do appreciate a good story. Now, if you have been following my channel, if you know the type of games I play, I love story-driven games which have a lot of narrative elements, third-person games, and this is also a third-person action-adventure game. And well, speaking about action-adventure and giving you a little more information about this game, well, this game basically is from a company called FromSoftware. They're very popular for a lot of games, a lot of games like you could say Armored Core. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Then you had the Dark Souls. You had the Ninja Blade. I actually like that game on the 360, by the way. Sekiro, a very recent offering from them. And then finally, Elden Ring, which has just come out on all the major consoles and even on your PC. So it starts off with a cutscene, and it kind of tells you the story. Now, as far as the premise of the game goes, it takes place in the realm of the lands between. So I don't know where this place is supposed to be, but that's where the game takes place. And it is after the destruction of the titular Elden Ring and the scattering of its shards, the great ruins. So there is a story, and in your time with this game, or at least in my time with this game, I was in no way able to progress in the storyline. Now, I'm not saying that, the story is bad because, hey, I just couldn't experience it in my, say, about 35 to 40 minutes of my overall game time. So it talks about this Elden Ring and this realm of the lands between, and it's ruled by this Queen Marika, the Eternal, and basically there is a ring. It corrupts people with power, with greed, and very similar to the premise of the Lord of the Rings in many ways. And what your role in this game is that you'll you're kind of summoned, and you must traverse this realm of the lands between to find all these great runes to restore the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord. So that basically is the premise of this particular game. And like I said, it's a third person action adventure role playing game. And you just start off with this, this cinematic. And this game is open world, by the way. You can roam freely all across the map, although I didn't get to really explore the different areas of the map because it just didn't motivate me. And I'm going to get to the point as to why I hate this game. Now, there are a lot of areas that you can supposedly explore, which unfortunately I was not able to, but you start off in this place. It looks more like a dungeon kind of an atmosphere, a mix between a dungeon or a cathedral, something like that. So you start off here. Now, this is what the graphics look like. Now, this is obviously indoors. So you start off in this dark and dingy place. And then you can progress through the various parts of the map. Now, you're going to come across a lot of characters. You're going to come across some easy enemies that you can kill off, like animals, like wolves. There are eagles as well. And then there are zombie-like, people as well, who are infesting the land. And then you have those colossal bosses. And I'm going to get to, those colossal bosses in a bit. Now, the game basically relies on a lot of character building, like any RPG does. I mean, if you've played any of the role-playing games, then it is a build-up. It is an evolution of the character throughout the game. And you have to upgrade your character. You have to give him the skills, him or her, the skills. You have to give him or her the weapons and the ammunition. You have to give them spells if it's a game related to magic, potions, etc. All the things that you can do to support your character to make sure that you're not failing in the game, because as you progress in the game, the enemies keep on getting tougher and tougher and tougher. Now, this is where the difference between this game and a lot of the other third-person role-playing games that I've played lies. Now, let's take a game like Assassin's Creed as an example. Now, in that game, there is a sense of progression that I felt. Whether it was Eivor, whether it was Cassandra, my favorite, by the way, I felt that the character evolved during the entirety of the game. So there was this sense of achievement. There was this sense of satisfaction, you could say, that, all right, I'm achieving, these great things, and I'm getting all these great weapons, and I'm really upgrading my character. Now, in the first 35 to 40 minutes of this game, because that's all I played, by the way, let me tell you that. Most of the games that I've played, I've always made sure that I've played 2.5 hours. But this game, I just wasn't motivated enough to play this game. Now, this is one of the first bosses that I encountered in this game, and bam, you're done, over, finished. So I think, however, this was supposed to happen because it was a part of the narrative. So now I'm going to get up and I'm going to be in this different location. So what I was saying was, in all these other games, and even Horizon Forbidden West, boy, oh boy, what a game that is. Now, I've been playing, I'm almost towards the end of the game now, but I really felt that Aloy progressed further than the first game. So there's a lot of character development and there's a lot of improvement in the character itself. And not just Aloy, but also the characters which were around Aloy, her friends, her comrades, her brothers and sisters in arms, you could say. And that's what I felt about Horizon Forbidden West. Such a great character, such great storytelling, and amazing implementation with all these cutscenes. It's a seamless transition between cutscenes and gameplay, and both work in harmony. Now, Elden Ring, on the other hand, is a very lonely game. That is one of my problems with this game. Now, usually in all the role playing games that I've played, third person role playing games, there's always a sense of achievement, accomplishment, yes, but there's also this sense of character building and a sense of friendship, a sense of having fellow teammates on your team, which this game did not have at all in the first 35 to 40 minutes. And from everything that I've read and from everything that I've seen online on other YouTube videos, this game is a lonely game. And that's one of my biggest gripes with this particular game. Throughout the game, it is all about you, and it's only about you. Now, to me, that is not good enough. But hey, that's just me. Now, there are a lot of people who may want to just focus on your character. It's absolutely fine if you want to do that. Nothing wrong with that. But when you are doing that, here's my problem. If I am lonely, I should have some sort of achievement, that I can have. Now, this game, first of all, does not have any difficulty levels. If you've followed my channel, I always love starting my games on the easy difficulty level, have a feel of things, then I can progress and, change the difficulty level as I progress in the game further. Or, when I complete it, I can play it in separate or a higher difficulty level. This game does not have that. Now, this game is difficult. That's my second biggest gripe, you could say, with this game. And it is so difficult that it's frustrating. And I'm going to show you an example as to, what I mean by frustrating. Now, you are going to encounter many bosses all around the map. A piece of advice, although I've played this only for 35 to 40 minutes, if you do not have the right arsenal at your disposal, ammunition, whatever you want to call it, weapons, potions, blah, blah, do not engage. Just explore and make sure that your character has enough steam, you could say, to be able to face the wrath of, these bosses, because these bosses, boy, oh boy, they're difficult. And it really takes away from that experience of, achievement. It does not allow you to feel that way. And that's the other problem that I have with this game. Now, bosses are really, really difficult. Now, whether you're trying to battle them from a safe distance, whether you're trying to engage in, like melee combat, it's difficult. Now, even if you have like NPCs, which probably you would want to use to assist you in fighting alongside you, it's still going to be difficult. So, and need I say that sometimes you'll come across, bosses where just 2 strikes will kill you. That's enough. And that is really frustrating. I mean, you just have to build your character so much. So you have to, you could say, farm these runes, and you have to keep farming these runes so that, every time you die, at least, you go back to that level where you were, and you're at this upgraded level. So maybe, if you have upgraded well enough and you've had, hours and hours put into the game, farming these runes, then maybe, the difficulty would not seem so difficult. I mean, it might feel easier, but do I have the patience to do that? Personally, I don't. But again, a lot of people appreciate this strategy where you keep upgrading, and it does have a sense of accomplishment, maybe, but that's spending hours and hours and hours behind the game, and then finally unleashing yourself on these enemy bosses. So And these enemy bosses, man, they are tough. So you may have to mix your play style. Sometimes you have to do the dodge stuff. Sometimes you have to use a lot of potions. Some of these bosses, like I faced 3 bosses in total, uh, apart from the first one. So considering that it'd be 4, but 3 I would say, and each of them were very different. One was where the boss was on a horse, and man, he could cover a lot of ground. So even if you want to outrun that boss, you won't be able to do that. He's going to be right next to you in a jiffy, and he's just going to cut you down in 2 slashes. You're out. And there was this other boss, which was like a giant creature, like a monster. And again, the monster would jump vast distances and it would get you instantly. There was one more, boss, which I could actually, have some sort of achievement there, because I almost took it down, you could say. I kind of, got to 50% health level. So I could damage that guy up to say about 50%. But hey, I mean, it was difficult. All these 3 bosses, they were difficult. And, even the blocking, suppose you're using a shield, for instance, the timing has to be so precise, because the moment, you miss out that fraction of a second, the enemy boss is going to get you. So your shield timing, the moment you press that button, has to be precise to the point, 00 point something 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 that precise. So it is really difficult, and I don't know if it's for everybody. Well, there's definitely going to be takers for this game for sure, because I've seen a lot of communities where they talk about games from FromSoftware, and there's a lot of love that games like Dark Souls, games like Sekiro, and these tough games have Demon Souls for that as well. So it does have takers. But am I one of those people? Unfortunately, no. I didn't like this game. I actually hated this game. And I hate it so much that I am going to sell this game off. Now, I paid for this, disc. In fact, I bought a physical disc. By the way, I do want to talk to you about this. When you get a PS4 game, you get a free PS5 upgrade. So even if you want to buy a PS4 disc, you can actually get a PS4 disc for yourself and then just upgrade free to the PS5 version of this game. So that's pretty cool. Now, apart from that, I did forget to mention the game has a performance mode, and it also has a quality mode. Just giving you a little bit of information of how this performs on the PlayStation 5. Now, I only played this on the PlayStation 5. I'm not even going to try to make a comparison video of this game on the PlayStation 5 and my Xbox Series S, because it's going to take a lot of effort, for me to do that, quite honestly. And it's not a game that I would play. I mean, this is very, very difficult for me, and I really didn't enjoy this game at all. Now, I personally did not understand, why this game got a 10 on 10, because even when it comes to the looks, like I was saying, the performance on the PlayStation 5, on the quality mode, it gives you 4K, but it runs at between 30 to 45 FPS. So I think, the frames are unlocked. And on the performance mode, it runs at a solid 60 FPS on the PlayStation 5. And as far as the game's visual fidelity, it's not a great looking game. I mean, I just skipped, parts here just because I wanted to show you this other boss that I was talking about. And it's so difficult, You see, I mean, I did manage to get it down to say about almost half life, the boss, but then again, I died. You spawn again, and then you have to try over and over again, and it's so difficult. So, I had these issues with Elden Ring, but hey, that's just me. I mean, there are a lot of people that may like this game because of the difficulty level. And there may be people like me that hate this game because of the difficulty level. And like I said, all those other reasons, to me personally, I did not feel a sense of achievement. There was nothing that I accomplished in this game. In the first 35 to 40 minutes, there was no storytelling that I experienced myself. And I felt really lonely in this game. I mean, no characters surrounding me, no help coming from anywhere. And it felt like a very lonely game. And coming immediately after Horizon Forbidden West, that was a massive shift. I mean, Horizon Forbidden West, it's all about friends. It's all about, getting together a team and making sure that the team helps you achieve your mission objectives. In this game, it was all about you and you alone. And that's why, I personally did not enjoy this game. Now, what did you think about this game? Do let me know in the comment section. And hey, let's talk about Elden Ring. If you hate this game as well, do hit me up in the comment section and let me know why you hate this game. And if you love this game, I'm sure, I might get, a little bit of hate from people, and that's all right. I completely respect, if you love this game. And in fact, I respect you a lot because, you have the patience to play a game like this. So that's why even the thumbnail, I mentioned that I hate this game with love. That's why, because people who love this game, salute to you for putting in the hours, for being so patient with this game. I couldn't do that. And maybe, if I have a bunch of other people who feel the same way, do let me know in the comment section. Well, that's it, I would say, for this game. Elden Ring, again, I hated this game. I'm going to sell my disc off. I'm not going to keep this game at all. And that's what I personally feel about this game. So let me know in the comment section and let's keep talking. Your comments obviously help me with my channel growth, and your like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated as well. So do hit that like and subscribe as well, and that bell icon in case you want to get notified with all my latest videos. With that said, it's a wrap for this one. I'll see you lovely folks in my next video. Until that time, I'd say take care, stay safe, and may God bless you all.